Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Colberth Mini Projects. I'm out here at what I would call my wood shed, and this thing's about not even halfway full. And then I've got a giant pile of wood back here that we've harvested. There's a bunch of wood across the street. We pulled a bunch from out in the woods. I take it over there, I split it up, but I also have some friends that drop off wood. They're tree trimmers. As they have it, they just leave it out there and I get it cut up. So today, it's a little bit of prep work. I'd like to separate the logs that don't need to be split from the logs that do need to be split. The ones that do need to be split, I want to line them up so I can get them split. And then I also want to separate the logs that need to be cut over there. And then the other thing I want to do is right now I'm dropping a lot of logs that don't need to be cut or split on the other side of the road just because I'm trying to keep things moving. I'm in the deep woods and the girls are hauling logs up. But if they haul it in this tiny little area, there's really no escape for them with the tractors. And the problem is they can't really turn around. So then we just can't dump logs here. So I'm doing a little bit extra work and I don't like that. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm not going to clear out any woods, but I've got a little pile of some treated lumber and there's a tiny little bit of fencing here just left over from other projects. I'm going to move this out of the way. And I want to clear some of this brush and thicket just so I have a little bit more workspace so they can come in here with tractors and we'll just form a path where they can drop logs and then head out. And I don't have to drop it over there, haul it back over here. So trying to save myself a little bit of work, even though if I admit I really just enjoy doing some of this stuff. So it'll be just some good decompress time, just push some energy out and make something happen. So let's get after it. I've got the Vermeer fueled up. I've got the grapple on. I think that'll be best to pick up individual logs out there and do some sorting. So I'm going to get into it. I'm going to do some sorting out there. I probably won't try to move any wood today, but I will maybe try to move it in mass later, maybe with my dump trailer or something like that. When I'm done sorting that stuff, I'm going to come back because right out there, it's like, it's cool right now. So I want to go out there working basically the unsheltered hot sun, if you will. When I'm done, I'll come back in here where it's going to be shady and I'll clear some of this area out so I have more woodworking area in the future. Okay, we've made it out here and you can see behind me, like right here, these are big logs. These are big logs, meaning they're long and they need to be cut. So I want to make a pile for the logs that need to be cut. Then you'll see some of these logs. Now, depending on what I would say the density of the logs, I may split them and I may not. It looks like these would fit in the wood boiler and you can actually see pile after pile after pile if I raise you up. Sun's in my eyes, but you can kind of see that all those piles are just dumped from Nicole's tractor. So all these, I'm just going to pick through here, find the ones I need to split. Because here's one over here that we cut out of the woods. It's just, that's a big dude. Kind of hard to see from this angle, but I got to pull these out. And then there's some more 4-footers, and we get into this next section. And these dudes are really big, and they definitely need to be split. So yeah, it's just going to be a morning of organizing, getting ready to attack when the time is right. And then I've got this pile. These are all like short logs, so they're cutting 16 inches. It's stuff that if my dad logs it or I log it with him and he doesn't like it or it's something he doesn't want to burn in his wood burner, I throw it in mine because mine just eats it like a trash container. It doesn't care. So let's start sorting. So a quick explanation for what I'm doing. You can see right here, this is just a chopped log. So that's one that's going to go in that far pile way out there. Let me see if I can work my hand to show, but way out there. This next one, this is one I can actually grab with the forks and stack. It needs to be split. So I'll start making a line of split wood out here that I can, once I line them up, I can just split them real easily. I've got these big long logs and I've been sorting them. And you can see behind me, what I'm doing is I'm going with kind of like a staggered pattern, and I'm doing 2 logs at a time. And the reason I do that is because not only can I fit between these 2 logs here to come in from the sideways one way or the other, but I can also grab any one of these logs from the end and move it with the vermeer. So the goal here is keep the saw blade out of the dirt. Don't kill yourself as far as just overworking it. So I want to be able to pick some of these up from the end and cut them. So I'm lining up the ends, at least one end flush. So you can see like these logs for an example. Those are flushed out. And then whatever my cut is, I'll just cut them. So I'm just trying to be a little bit strategic here. And if nothing else, the road's right there. So maybe I can just drive the neighbors nuts trying to figure out what I'm doing with all these I don't know what you want to call it, all these layouts of wood. It almost looks, it'll be, when I'm done, it'll look like aliens landed or something. This beast of a log, I don't know if I can move it. I don't know if I have enough bricks in my britches, and I don't have a bucket of chicken to hold on to on the back of this machine, but we're going to give it a shot. Okay, we're a little tipsy, but it's working. All right, that wraps up step 1, which was get all the long logs separated, and those are broken out into a pattern that I can work with. Now, another thing I want to check out, man, it feels like rain a little bit. Something going on here. I just felt like the barometric pressure shift on me. All right, so I will confirm this real fast. Sorry for that, but I've got my tape measure out here, and all these logs are 4 foot. These are all the ones that I actually pulled out of the woods, so I know they're 4 foot. Now, you get into some of these over here that are kind of fresh cut. I didn't cut these. These are a gift from a friend of mine who I'm deeply grateful for. And I only see a couple logs here that could potentially be too long, and this is one of them here. So I'm gonna take a look. Yeah, 4'4". Yikes. I think I can make it work. I'm gonna go ahead and just split them the way they are. So that means that all my cutting is down there and I'm already done. There's nothing else to cut because that's the longest log I see. So now I want to pick through here, and that you can see down here, there's so many logs that do not need to be split. So all I'm gonna do is literally sift through these piles, find the logs, And then I'm going to start putting them on this back line right over here by this log so that I can split them. But yeah, look at all these baby logs. All those are going right in the wood boiler. So my rule of thumb when I'm sorting through these logs is what can I personally pick up by myself with ease. So if I'm in a hurry, I can pick it up and I can get it in the boiler. So if you were doing this, you probably want to just match it to whatever your personal strength levels are. I don't want, I guess what I'm saying is it can change. When I get older, I'll probably make smaller logs, but anything that I can handle by hand, I'm going to pile up by hand, because moving around on this tractor, while it does work, that's just going to take a lot of time. So I'll go through here, throw the ones that I can throw, the ones I can't, I'll pile up, and then we'll start getting them lined up for splitting. Alright, I'm shutting the Vermeer off. As I mentioned before, size is relative. It's not just your age, your strength, but it's also it's the weight that I'm more concerned with at these sizes. Sometimes you need to split them just so they fit in the hole easier. Just because you have a 5 foot by 2 foot hole, which is what I have in the Vermeer, it doesn't mean that I can cut everything to that size, because you throw 3 logs in there and now it's full of air around all those logs. So you need these small pieces to really pack it and make it full. Now, as I'm stacking these up, I'm putting them in a place where I can actually pick them up with the Vermeer and then throw them in the dump trailer. Pick them up, throw them in the dump trailer. So like this pile right here, that's about a grapple load. This pile right here, about a grapple load. These are ones I want to split. They're actually a little bit too heavy for me. This one here, another example of a heavy one. And then you get in here and these are just nice. Man, that's like perfect size. I wish they all came this size, okay? So I will put that with this pile here. This is another nice dandy one. I'll put that here. Then I can come through. And I don't care which way they are. I'm going to grab them with the grapple and throw them up. But if you just make a big sloppy pile, when you grab it with the grapple, it's just going to explode on you. It happens every time. And it can be kind of frustrating. And I'm not moving this stuff far. I'm just tipping. I'm just using the weight of the logs to move themselves. So this one here, I am going to work a little harder because I'm cramped. But I'm going to put this one with this log. And and these two can travel together. Just like that. The grapple can grab those two. The grapple can take more here. And you get used to your machine and you kind of know what you can grab with your machine, no different than you kind of know what you can grab with your hand, whether you're reaching into to grab a smaller log or you're reaching in the refrigerator to grab a jar of mayonnaise. So, which I have an uncle who loves mayonnaise. All right, so that's a big enough grapple bite that I'm done there. I'm gonna start throwing these guys here for another grapple bite. And I'd say don't be fooled. These wood boilers, they take a lot of work. They take a lot of effort and energy. And a lot of time too. So those two are in a good handy bite. This one here, I can see right now it's white oak. It's not that big. Oh, is that thing a load? Yeah, and you can see how I'm just systematically starting to stack these up. And then when I get enough stuff stacked up, I'll start the machine and I'll move this stuff. Then I'll go into the next few piles and just keep working it and working it. I threw the short logs out there. You can see those go in that pile of 16 inchers that they're kind of a pain. They're hard to pick up with your forks. They're hard to pick up with your grapple. They're heavy for your back. I don't know. I don't like them, but all right, keep moving. So here's a monster. This is a big old stump. And I believe this was an oak tree, red oak, black oak, something like that. I used to get excited about these stumps and I thought, yeah, look at all that wood. Those of you that have burned wood long enough know that the knotty wood is, it tends to burn a little bit longer. It's a little bit more dense. And so I'm looking at this going, there's tons of knots in this. Well, normally what I've done is I will split this up and then I throw them in, and it turns out it just seems like they don't last that long. I don't know, roots just don't burn the same as the tree itself as that wood. So I don't know the scientific whatever explanation behind that. I just don't know the science, but I do know it's still wood and it's worth it, and I'll take it, but I'll split it up. It doesn't stack well. It's kind of a nightmare. Either way, we're gonna move this dude, but I will warn you that if you put a lot of effort into getting a stump, you probably won't get much heating out of that stump. All right, you can see what we've got here now. I've got a row of logs that I can pull right up to and split right on the end. I try not to stack too many of these big old logs next to each other because they're going to split into multiple pieces. And then you can see kind of finished out with a few more big ones. Now, I don't need to run a line all the way down there. I want to start making some aisles that I can actually kind of work within, so I can split on this side and I can split on that side, and I'll just kind of basically work my way down. So I need a pile on this side now. We'll make an aisle. Again, I'm just sorting through these logs. What doesn't need to be split, I'm not going to split. And this is going really well. I'm enjoying this. Okay, all done. So out here by the road, I've got my piles of all the basically logs that are small enough to where I don't have to split them. And then through here, I've got, well, behind me, I've got aisles on both sides of me of logs that I need to split. And then way out there are logs that I need to cut and then split. So it looks way more organized to me. It's probably gonna confuse the heck out of the neighbors. Kind of looks like we did something today. I'm gonna go back in the woods now, out of the sun, and try to clear out that killing ground, like John Wayne would say in Green Berets. Just give me some extra room to work out there. So, all right, let's get back in there. Okay, back out here at the woodshed. Got the Vermeer back here. I've got this little pile of what I said was fencing and some treated blocks. There's another one on the other side of this sassafras that you can't really see, but that's just some scrap metal that I have if I need to weld something together or piece something. So I'm gonna clear those two pieces out, get them out of my way, and then I'm gonna open this dude up, and that'll give me room to reach, or to actually work and process that wood and then fill in our big woodshed. So we talked about that in the beginning. Let's go get it done. Alright, that's a wrap. I've got this area back here cleared out enough to where I can actually put some logs and then even exit out to our trails a little bit easier. So we'll see how it goes. Typically you end up clearing a little bit more and a little bit more over the years, but I've got some family coming over, the kind you want to hang out with. So I'm going to go get cleaned up and enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Hope you guys do too. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit those notifications. We'll see you next time.